swear.
Would you join me for the flag salute? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Bless us, the Lord, as we gather today for this Freeholder meeting. Guide our minds and our hearts so we may work together for the good of our community. Help us to be generous in our outlook, courageous in the face of difficulty, and wise in our decisions. Amen.
Amen.
In compliance with the Open Public Meetings Act, this is to announce that adequate notice of this meeting has been provided. Also pursuant to the 2016 bylaws, rules, and regulations of the Board of Chosen Freeholders of the County of Burlington, time shall be set aside on the agenda for the receipt of public comments. Public comments will be received with respect to agenda items prior to board consideration of resolutions to be adopted. An additional opportunity for public comment will occur later in the meeting. Public comment shall be limited to 5 minutes per speaker. Unused time may not be transferred to another speaker. Persons may speak once per public comment period. I direct the Deputy Clerk to enter into the minutes of this meeting this public announcement and the advance written notice of this meeting. Freeholder Donnelly.
Here.
Freeholder Gibbs.
Here.
Freeholder O'Brien.
Here.
Freeholder Peters.
Present.
Director Gargano.
Here. Just want to be looking for a motion to approve the regular minutes of January 13th and the conference meeting of January 27th. So moved. Motion by Freeholder Peters, second.
Second.
Second by Freeholder O'Brien. Questions? Additions? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Hearing none, we'll move on to our public hearing. Would you like to read this?
Sure. Refunding bond ordinance number 2016-17, authorizing the issuance of up to $35,500,000 in aggregate principal amount of general obligation refunding bonds in one or more series for the County of Burlington, New Jersey, for the purpose of advance refunding all or a portion of the callable maturities of the outstanding A, $49,700,000 general obligation bonds, Series 2007, B, $31,981,000 general improvement bonds, Series 2008A, and C, $3,295,000 vocational and special services schools bonds, Series 2008B, heretofore issued by the county and appropriating the proceeds of such refunding bonds to such purposes.
All right, at this point, we'll open the public hearing. If anyone has any comments about this, please stand up, name, address. Seeing none, I'd be looking for a motion to close the public hearing.
So moved.
Motion by Freeholder O'Brien. Second. Second. By Freeholder Donnelly. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. And then I'd be looking for a motion. I'll make the motion to adopt on second reading. Do I have a second? Second. Motion by Gargano, second by Donnelly. Roll call.
Freeholder Donnelly?
Yes.
Freeholder Gibbs?
Yes.
Freeholder O'Brien?
Yes.
Freeholder Peters?
Yes.
Director Gargano?
Yes. We'll move on to public comment on agenda items. If you have anything you'd like to discuss that is on the agenda this evening, we'll have a second part at the end for any general topic. Anybody on agenda items? Seeing none, we'll move on. I'll make a motion that we approve by unanimous consent items H1 through H16.
Second.
Motion by Gargano, second by O'Brien. Questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions?
Abstention with regard to H1, page 24, Colonial Village, page 74, Second Transit.
As noted. Freeholder Donnelly.
Thank you, Director. At this time, I would move for unanimous consent resolution items number H17 through H20.
Second.
Motion by Freeholder Donnelly, second by Freeholder O'Brien. Questions? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Freeholder Gibbs.
Thank you, Director. At this time, I'd like to move for unanimous consent items H21 through H28.
Second.
Motion by Freeholder Gibbs, second by Freeholder O'Brien. Questions? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions?
Mr. Director, I would like to abstain from H21.
As noted. Freeholder O'Brien.
Mr. Director, at this time, I move resolutions H29 through H31 for unanimous consent.
Motion by Freeholder O'Brien, second.
Second.
Second by Freeholder Gibbs. Questions? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Freeholder Peters.
Thank you, Mr. Director. I'd like to move resolutions H32 through H36 by unanimous consent.
Second.
Motion by Freeholder Peters, second by Freeholder O'Brien. Questions? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Move on to item I, which would be questions from the press. Now we'll move on to public comment on any items you'd like to discuss. Let me, we have half a dozen people here that have signed up. Martha Vaselka.
Martha Vaselka, Chesterfield, New Jersey. Good evening.
Good evening.
The compressor station and pipeline that's proposed at Southern Reliability Link is dangerous. It threatens our air and our water. It contains things like methane, benzene, arsenic, and nitrous. Because there's 4 schools within the compressor station area and hundreds of homes with wells right next to the proposed pipeline, it can contaminate their water. This pipeline also runs over the pine lands, and that's the largest aquifer and provides water to many, many people. It can poison that water too, and our water will be poisoned. We do not have a redundant water system. The compressor station can blow up. It has a 1-mile blow radius. It can hurt the people within the 4 schools, on the turnpike, etc. The local governments are against this. The Assemblyman, Dancer, Clifton, Senator Thompson, Senator Diane Allen, Conway, and State Representative or Assemblyman Conway and Singleton are against the pipeline. Here is, to submit this. This is the Thompson-Conway, Thompson legislation that they propose for the state, limiting the pipeline and to the FERC about the compressor station. Please support the people and the local governments on this. All the northern counties are pretty much against it. Monmouth County is against it. They're listening to their people. I ask that you listen to us. Please do not allow the pipeline on the county roads. That's what you can do. Please adopt a resolution and join Thompson's legislation. The couple of things I just want to say is, there was the banking crisis, there was a mortgage crisis, and now we're coming up on the gas and oil crisis. Gas and oil are very low priced. A lot of these firms are going to go belly up. They're going to leave us holding the bag. The compressor station is not bonded. The pipeline's not bonded. When these firms go belly up, like Transco, etc., because they can't make the bills because they can't get enough money in income because gas and oil are so low, who's going to be holding the bag? The county, the municipalities, and the state. You should demand at the very least them be bonded. In Flint, Michigan, the government officials at the end now say about their water situation, the one lesson they learned was they should listen to the people. Listen to the people. They have an idea of what's going on. Listen to them. And that's all I have to say.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Catherine Marlin.
Good evening. Catherine Marlin, Chesterfield. I just wanted to show you a quick picture of the proposed compressor station. It's kind of hard to see from where you're at, but this is just a piece of it, and this is on altogether around 34 acres. This black dot right here is my house. So in this picture alone, you can only see 5 houses, but that's just a small piece of the proposed compressor station and how it is impacting the residents of the Chesterfield community as well as Bordentown. It's very difficult for me to understand the reasoning behind this compressor station as well as the pipeline, and for it to be proposed to be built across the street from my house is very disturbing. So I just wanted to put that into perspective, so maybe you have some type of sympathy and help the residents of Chesterfield and Bordentown and everyone else who's impacted by the pipeline and compressor station. It is on the county road. It's proposed to be on County Road 528, so I'm hoping that you have some sort of impact to join us in the fight against both pipeline and compressor station.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Dawn Sheridan?
Dawn Sheridan, Chesterfield, New Jersey. I put an article into the letter to the editor of the Burlington Gazette that I felt it was important that I read this because you guys have remained silent on this issue. When the state was given the name the Garden State, I certainly don't think that the people that named it would have thought that we would turn into the pipeline state or even the corporate greed state. But that is exactly what we are turning into. Our politicians and elected officials, as well as yourselves, have lost their values and morals and are so blinded with greed in themselves that they cannot see what is going on. That is not to say that there are some politicians that are trying to do the right thing, but when you have a governor that changes things just because he doesn't like what they stand for, it's hard for the good politicians to prevail. The residents of Chesterfield Township, North Hanover and beyond, are going to be forced to live with the compressor station and the high-powered pipeline in their own neighborhoods. Now, I know you may say that this isn't in your backyard and you don't live near it, so it doesn't affect you, but if it can happen in Chesterfield, it can happen anywhere. Actions speak louder than words, and while some politicians have spoken out against it, there are still many that have not, and have remained in the background silent. It seems the only time that the governor, Congress, senators, or other elected officials, as yourselves, will do anything is when it is in your backyard or it does affect you. We are going to have to live with the consequences of your silence. I'm asking you tonight, this is the county road. You have the ability to stop this. If other senators and Congress and assemblymen can get on board to know what's right, then why can't you, as 5 elected officials that we rely on to make the right decisions, why can't you get on board and help us out? We rely on you, that's why we elected you to do the right thing, not to sit up here and be silent and not help us. So I'm asking you, make your voice known. Maybe some people won't agree with you, but at least do it.
Vincent Carabin?
Before I begin with my comments, going back to the November 25th meeting, I had asked personal opinions and I got the answer, well, there was litigation with the state. The question I have is that litigation completed? Number one. Number two, what was it about? I think we have a right to know that. Would anybody like to answer that? What was the litigation about?
The litigation was the administrative proceeding, sir, before the BPU.
Okay.
There has been an order issued by the BPU permitting the installation of the NJ.
Okay, which goes to my next question. On December 7th, you had an attorney. It wasn't you, it's a hired attorney, am I correct? An outside attorney? I believe his last name was Burns. Okay, question I have is when was he hired? What did it cost us? What did it?
We don't have that information in front of us. We will get it for you, though.
Please.
No, not an issue.
Okay. Let me take this further. Now to the main comments I want to make. I've been following this for quite a while. And for openers, I came here, I couldn't get an opinion from any of you people. For whatever reasons. Litigation, call it whatever you want. That was one thing. I went to the December 7th meeting. And I actually saw someone from New Jersey Natural Gas giving hand signals to people that were testifying under oath. So at the break, I went to the commissioner. And I says, is that allowed, that people would give hand signals from the audience to people that are testifying on the oath? She says, oh, no, and walked away. I brought it to the attention of the other attorneys, and they brought it out after the break. So you had that happen. They agreed on meeting with the attorneys from the townships by the end of February. That was done last week. The lawyers never had a chance to present their briefs, okay? Then you had our governor fired the president of the Pinelands Commission because he wasn't in agreement with this whole thing. The point I want to make here is that all these things are happening and we're just getting run over. We come here, we talk, you guys just sit there, you're not going to do anything. I know that. I'm not naive. But my problem is this, is even our congressman, he's MIA. We don't know where he is. But he's got a vested interest, so that's a whole side issue. He's got money invested. So I'm sure that he does well if the pipeline goes through. But the common denominator in all of this is money. The pipeline companies have money, and they're not above to spreading it around. If you go back to 2007, Williams Transco, they were fined $20 million by the federal government. They settled for $417 million with California government because they were manipulating gas prices. So my point is this: there's money floating around. I don't know. Maybe it's the finance campaigns, you people. Maybe it's the governor. I don't know. But we're going to find out. I remember from Watergate, follow the money. And that's the only common denominator that's involved in this whole mess, is the money. That's all I have to say.
Thanks, sir. Leonard the group.
Good evening, Freehold Director and Freeholders. I'm a resident of Burlington Township. Yes, we are in Burlington, although we are often ignored by the county. As a 39-year-old resident, I've only been here once before, as a spectator. I mailed to every one of you a letter last week concerning this issue. I'm worried for the safety of our residents, our community, specifically the ill-advised, dangerous Transco plan to construct a national natural gas compressor station and pipeline. Rather than read it. This is a pipeline, gas pipeline, that will leak, by Transco's estimate, 3.8% to 7.9% of the gas in the pipeline from wellhead to the liver. I tried to get an answer to a question. We talk about a 1 mile radius. That radius is based on a smaller diameter pipe and a lower pressure pipe. So we should expect higher loss of it. Now, why am I concerned? In the last 4 years, Lathrop, Pennsylvania, Brooklyn Township, Pennsylvania, Montrose, Pennsylvania, Brentsville, New Jersey, Windsor, New York, etc., have all had explosions. By the way, fires are far less frequent than explosions in this station. Now, I was not an early to the game spectator in this. I went to a township meeting to hear Transco give an explanation of what was going on. I was amazed. These experts answered not one question. They themselves ignited my fear of what's happening. Now, why is the fear there? What's within 1 mile of the, and it's probably more now, but what's within 1 mile blast area? 3 schools, a regional high school and 2 what we used to call grammar schools. We have a private school, a fire station, a church, a 2-mile section of the New Jersey Turnpike, and approximately 6,000 residents. By the way, I've been informed that resident number is lower. Now, what is the difference between where they've had their problems before? Those are all rural communities. We are not a rural community, we are a suburban community. Now, what we do is we come to our elected representatives. And you must know there's a revolution going on in our country today against both parties. And we represent one party here. The problem is our elected officials aren't listening to us. When I'm talking about the safety of our residents, I expect the county to express their concern or tell me I'm wrong. Inaction and passing the buck is just not acceptable. And that's what we're getting. And we want you to be proactive in ensuring the safety of our community and our residents. By the way, do you know where this, have any one of you gone to the location of the proposed pipeline? It's located right under a high-tension, high-power line. Now, who in their right mind would vent large amount of ignitable gas under an electric line, a high-power electric line? Please, come out to our community, see what we're saying. This is not a small issue in our town, and it's growing by the day. It's a bipartisan issue. Please, come out, see what we're talking about, and I hope to God you will respond. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Agnes Brasova.
Good job.
Freeholders, Agnes Marsaw, 68 Aldrich Road, Chesterfield, New Jersey. I'd just like to echo, especially what Leonard just said. Yeah, it is about the money. We should follow the money. There is a revolution. Americans realize that money in politics is really what is stalling everything. So, you know, from both the Republican and the Democrats, the outsiders are the ones that don't need the money, are the ones that are getting the votes, and hopefully that will trickle down and continue. I don't know, I'm trying to follow the money. I read on Bloomberg News today a story about our pipeline and the Penny's pipeline, which in my opinion is the same pipeline, one continuous pipeline, that should be seen as one continuous pipeline, should be investigated as one continuous pipeline. The impact should be investigated as one continuous pipeline. And, you know, it's a very interesting article, especially with the quote from Mr. Schaefer, who actually is going right through his front yard, so it's you know, he's not very happy about it. He's an economic professor from Yale, also you know, kind of a rich guy, so he knows what he's talking about. And he doesn't think there's a need. There's 15 projects going through our state. There is no real need. That is the problem. And I know as a voter myself, time after time I go to the ballot box, there's a section about open space. Time after time, I check that box. I want open space. And guess what? A lot of people agree with me. We have a lot of open space. We try and protect what little open space we have. It's a rare commodity in our state. And to waste it on nothing more than the greed of corporate. And I understand, Citizen United, they're people too. They don't have to drink the water. They don't have to breathe the air because, yeah, they're people, but they're not humans. Now, to me, you need to be a human to be a person, but hey, according to the Supreme Court, I guess you don't. Hopefully, that will be overturned soon too. So maybe the people you guys are listening to are the ones that aren't human, that Citizen United says are people. But really, hopefully, this will all start trickling down to us. I don't think trickle down economics works, but maybe trickle down politics, the revolution that Trump and Sanders are participating in or are bringing to our attention. Maybe this will happen and we can overturn things like Citizens United. But I'm here to tell you, I'm not going away until one of you guys or all of you guys can give me some kind of response as if I was a real human breathing person and play off the people that aren't human. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else for public comment?
Can somebody else comment?
Yeah.
Oh.
Oh. Sorry.
Jill Popko, Mayor, Burlington Township, 3 Henry Marshall Drive. I think you've been hearing this for weeks and weeks now, and you still, rather than opposing this project, have continued to remain silent. And it's so disappointing. Honestly, this is a global issue right now. And I'm not talking about global, well, yeah, I am, in the entire world, but I'm talking about globally as in what's happening in Burlington County. In particular, what's happening in Burlington Township. And what is the ethics and the values that your board is holding right now. Right now, we have the SRL and the compressor station banging at our door. These projects will bring carcinogens. There is no doubt about it. There's no doubt about it. It's a fact. Then we have Elcon, directly across the river, which is a hazardous waste incinerator facility. More carcinogens, more toxic waste. That will be blowing westerly directly at Burlington. Right next door to that, on the Delaware River, which is drinking water to people all up and down Burlington County area. This is imperative. They want to put another landfill, waste management landfill. All right, these are 3 major environmentally degrading projects that affect your stead, what you have been elected to protect. What is your job? Your #1 job is to look out for the health and well-being of the people of Burlington County, keeping them safe. Correct? Is that your #1 job or not? Can you answer that?
This is public comment. If you'd like to make your comment, if someone wants to answer at their time, they will.
So there's 5 people who can't answer it.
So not a single person here can answer the question, what is your job? Is it the health and well-being of the people of Burlington County? Obviously, there's no answer. To me, again, you are endorsing pollution. You are endorsing the poisoning of the people of Burlington County. It's really, really, really disappointing, very sad. All right, let's move on because obviously you can't answer for fear that I actually don't know what you fear. It's rather bizarre. But these aren't the only things that are a problem now in Burlington County. Other things that are a problem, quickly, are the fact that Burlington Township has requested for over 3 years now funds for our public parks. We have submitted over and over again, and we haven't gotten a cent. Now, public parks for people to go out and exercise, get fresh air. This is a park actually for our veterans, a Veterans Memorial Park that you all can't seem to spend 1 cent on. It's outrageous. So not only do you not care about the health and well-being of our residents, you don't care about the veterans and the memorial and remembering what kind of people have given their lives for this country. All right, let's go on. Here's one more thing. This is the kind of board that you are eliciting and what you are showing our community. And this isn't about politics. This is about, well, maybe it is about politics, but there's only one side here who's playing it. My side, honestly, here, I don't care what party you are. What I care about is doing what's best. That's what I care about. What's best? I hope you do that. What's best? But you know what? You just got to keep showing that they're not saying anything. I wish you would get it.
Lori Howard, Mount Laurel. Good evening, thank you. I was just coming today to find out if there's any updates in terms of the Cinnamon Bridge, any conversations with the Coast Guard or Corps of Engineers.
Joe, do we have any,
Mr. Berkeley had to leave, but my understanding, Freeholder Director, is that nothing new is developed in the last 2 weeks.
Okay, is there any estimate of time, line, as when he's going to hear back?
We have information out to those agencies. They work on their own schedule.
All right, do you guys provide, do you give them, like, we need this in 2 weeks, a month, 6 months?
the tough part is when you're dealing with them, I think sometimes it's just they do it at their pace.
Can you give them some sense of urgency?
I think we do, but they go with their pace.
Well, what can I do to give them a sense of urgency? I mean, honestly, I don't mind doing it. Tell me who I'm
I'm really not just, no, when you're dealing with those types of agencies, there's so many different levels, I'm not sure who you would go. Well, you know what, we'll take a look at it. If there's somebody we feel it can be pushed, we'll do that.
I mean, I don't mind. Also, when I first started coming to the meetings, it had been said that Cinnamon Bridge had not received a serious investment because it was written off back in the 70s when 295 was expanded. Was there written justification of that, or is that just anecdotal? Does anybody know?
Eric?
I know that Brickley, who unfortunately just had to leave, but did have an opportunity to talk to the federal highway system because I know that you reached out to them. So their records do date back all the way to the 70s. I know they're going through that and trying to find their written records. They talked to him today. So when they provide us with something, we'll be happy to provide it to you as well.
Okay. And since he's not here, I'm sorry, Jim, I don't know the gentleman's name that stood up.
That was Eric Garber.
No, not Eric.
Oh, Mr. Buck.
I'm sorry.
Mr. Buck.
Mr.
Carl Buck.
Mr. Buck, you're in the engineer's office as well?
No, I'm the attorney assigned to the engineer's office.
Oh, well, I just might have enough for the attorney. Okay. In terms of when you're coming off of Route 38, so comment I have about that traffic, so that has increased. So when you're coming off of Route 38 going west, when you're trying to make that left onto Martyr Ave, it's becoming dangerous to make that left onto Martyr Ave. So when you're making a right onto Wegmans, you can get off pretty, well, you can't get off easily, you're very congested, but you're making a right. And for the people that are coming left, it's very dangerous. We have all this traffic coming down Martyr Ave to make a left onto 38 East, and people are trying to come out and make that left. So I'm not sure what's going to be done about that traffic.
We can send a request to DOT. They own everything, quite frankly, back several hundred yards from All-State Highway. That's not a county road.
Okay, since it's coming onto a county road, can you ask them to do something?
We can ask them to investigate. That's what we can ask them to do.
And I just put that request that you asked to do that, because it just seems that the traffic has increased because more people are coming off at that exit, so people coming up from Martyr. You know, I'm coming down Martyr to make a left onto 38, just leaving Wegmans, and people have jumped in front of me so many times, and I'm sure other people that travel that way have experienced that you're saying when your brakes on, it's going to cause a accident on that county road. So just bringing that up as well. So I think that's all I have for today. But if you have some contacts for me that I can contact, I'll do some research as well to see who I can contact, just to keep the urgency up. I'm trying to get a meeting with Singleton. I know that we're all waiting for the Transportation Trust Fund. I'm just really concerned that the bridge was written off years ago, and I'm not really sure that was a just thing that should have been done, but there's no justification for that.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Michael Landa, 1610 Allard Street, Hainsport, New Jersey. I was coming in tonight just to ask for an update on the recreation grant process and where those grants are. I didn't see an agenda, maybe I'm misreading or something, but I was hoping it was going to be tonight. And
Eve, where are we?
It's still under review. Still under review.
that mean like it'll be tabled to the next meeting?
Won't be done on tonight.
Okay. All right, thank you.
Sure.
I'm Glenn Ashton with Bordentown Township, and I'm here today to express my disgust and anger over the proposed pipeline and compressor station, and the obvious lack of concern and action by the Burlington County Freeholders is unconscionable. While you may not have a vote on the subject, you certainly have a duty and an obligation to support and protect the citizens of our county. How can you not speak up and express the voices of those you represent? How can you not do what you're paid to do, what we have elected you to do, and what the taxpayers expect you to do? In fact, at the beginning of each meeting, in your opening invocation, you pledge to work for the good of our community. Tell us all, please, how do you accomplish this mission with your silence and lack of action? Have any of you driven down Route 528 where this compressor station pipeline is to be built? If you have taken the time to explore this area, you would have seen numerous homes for sale. This is a very sad reality if this project goes forward. I'm deeply saddened to see and hear residents and your constituents pleading with you to help them protect their homes and health. I'm sad to know my own neighborhood, Clifton Mills, is within the blast zone, the least of which means we will lose values on our homes, the worst of which means our health and well-being will be lost. I'm angry because our town and countrysides are on the verge of being raped, all for the self-serving interests of the companies involved and the politicians supporting them. I know there are union workers here who support the pipeline and the work it offers, and I respect the union workers and understand their needs to provide for their families. I do feel like they're highly trained individuals and take pride in what they do. However, compressors and pipelines are in the news on almost a daily basis for explosions and leaks, some uncontrollable. If they could guarantee 100% safety, which they can't, the noise volume and pollution they generate when operating as they're designed is unacceptable. I'm sorry, but this is not the time or the place for this project, and I feel our concerns trump their needs. The Freeholders are on record as not opposing the pipeline, and I don't think that's news. However, that support was made with the understanding that the pipeline would support operations at the Joint Base, create jobs, and support our Ocean County neighbors. Other than supporting our Ocean County neighbors, these other reasons I think have been debunked. While I endorse being a good neighbor, I'm against doing it at the detriment of our own communities in Burlington County. If Ocean County wants to grow, have them do it responsibly and not at the expense of their good neighbors. Charity begins at home, and your first obligation as freeholders is to protect the people and interests of your county. This project offers no benefits and only negative side effects to our health, water, traffic, pollution, home values, ecosystem, to name just a few. So I ask you, why do you still support this? I would ask one other thing. For all of you to go home tonight, look in the mirror and ask yourself this question and answer it honestly. If this compressor and the pipeline were planned in my backyard and in close proximity to my kids' schools, daycare centers, and churches, would I be as passive? Wouldn't I stand up and expect my voice to be heard? Wouldn't I expect my county and state representatives to protect my interests, health, safety, and environment? Please think about that. Your town might be next. As Assemblyman Herb Conaway so aptly stated at the Bordentown Forum, so well attended by our elected officials, the true test of our government officials is how they react to the issues of their constituents. It's too bad none of you were in attendance at that meeting. Well, midterm grades are coming out, and they're not looking good. When my wife and I'll be done in 2 seconds. When my wife and I moved to New Jersey, our friends from outside the state thought we were nuts, telling me that New Jersey is a dirty, smelly state. I was quick, though, to point out they were wrong. We saw a different side of New Jersey. We live in Bordentown, a beautiful little historical town on the Delaware River with a great community atmosphere. I'm an avid cyclist. I can leave my house and ride my bike for hours on quiet, clean country roads. I want very much to keep it that way and continue to prove to my friends we were right to choose New Jersey as our home. Listen, we're being hit, as others have said, on all sides by companies who seem to be in competition as to who can decimate our communities the fastest. So again, I implore you, do the right thing, stand up to the pressures of big business, protect your constituents, make our voices heard. You are in the unique and special position to do just that. And again, that's what you are elected and obligated to do.
Thank you, sir.
And as prayed for at the beginning of each meeting, work for the good of our community.
Diane Carrigan, Chesterfield. Months after months I have come here and listened to people plead with you to stand with us, to no avail. Month after month I have listened to people ask you questions, why you're not doing this, what is your opinion, and there's dead silence. You hide behind the veil of public comments. Shame on you. You don't even have the conviction you don't even have the conviction to stand by, the courage of your conviction to speak to how you feel. Where is a Wizard of Oz when we need him?
Anyone else? Seeing none, we'll close the public comment. Comment of Freeholders. Freeholder Peterson.
Thank you, Mr. Director. Thank you, everybody, for coming out tonight. As always, we appreciate your comments, and we'll take them under consideration.
Wow.
Please do, thank you.
Freeholder O'Brien.
Yeah.
Discussing additional
Freeholder Dominic.
Director, just a couple of things. One, this evening the board passed again an e-waste resolution encouraging the legislature and the governor to, we are encouraging the legislature to, it has been done, committee to move to a floor for a vote and to get a signature from the governor on this. It's important. We now have 4 towns in Burlington County that have backed out of e-waste recycling. So it is becoming an emergent situation at this point in time. These devices are going to end up on the sides of roads and parks, et cetera, as I had said previously. So this it is reassuring that, in fact, a new bill made it out of committee, I believe on Monday, right, Eric? Yeah, cleared Monday. So we're hopeful for that moving. Member of the governing body from everybody listens to you when you speak. You come here and you don't stop talking unless you're speaking.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Member of the governing body from Bordentown Township made reference to the fact that the county doesn't care about veterans, that the county doesn't contribute to the parks in Bordentown Township. The county was the seed money for Veterans Park in Bordentown Township. I was part of that.
Wrong part. Excuse me. It's incorrect.
The county has funded a number of projects in Burlington Township. The county has told Burlington that we won't fund paving, and that we won't fund fencing. We are more than happy to fund any project that Burlington Township has. This is not the time to debate. You've had your chance.
That's not true.
It doesn't matter. You've had your time. You've talked for 47 minutes.
I did?
Yes.
No, I did not.
You have
I
not.
got up there and talked for 3 minutes.
Excuse me, it's not a conversation.
That's right. So this county will continue to approve projects. This county will continue to approve projects for Parks Grant Zero, designed around the program.
I didn't say anything. I stopped.
It's all right.
Let's go.
Okay.
I think we all should go. You should be ashamed of yourself. The whole thing
Stand
you
up,
make
punch
up. You're disgusting. I know you're disgusting.
You're a bunch of cowards.
You're cowards
You sold us out, guys.
and liars. Shame on you.
Look in our eyes.
You're throwing her out? Nice.
That's
Shame on all of you.
disgusting.
No goals. Cowards. And we'll be back, don't worry. Count on it.
This isn't over.
This isn't over. In fact, we didn't even clear a throat yet.
That's all.
We're good?
Thanks.
At this point, I'd be looking for a motion to adjourn. Motion by Freeholder Donnelly, second by Freeholder O'Brien, all in favor? Aye. Opposed?